Let's talk about what might just be the most insane cricket match ever played. July 14th, 2019, Lord's Cricket Ground. England versus New Zealand in the World Cup final. This wasn't just a game. It was a day of drama so unbelievable, it basically rewrote the book on what a final could be. And we're going to break down exactly how it all went down. So, picture this. After a full 100 overs of this grueling, intense, back-and-forth cricket, the scores were level, a tie. But believe me, that's not even close to the end of the story. So they go to a tiebreaker, right? A super over. It's designed for one reason, to get a winner. And what happens? Both teams score the exact same number of runs. Again, you can't make this stuff up. The deadlock impossibly was still there. And the whole thing, the entire World Cup, was decided by a rule that doesn't even exist anymore. A tiebreaker so controversial, so fiercely debated, that they literally had to scrap it from the game altogether. So, how on earth did we get to a climax this unbelievable? Well, that's what we're here to do. We're going to walk through the story of this final, told through the 10 moments that really defined it all. Everything, and I mean everything, started with the coin toss. New Zealand won it and chose to bat first on this really slow, tricky pitch. Now, this wasn't just about the conditions. It was a psychological move. Putting runs on the board in a final puts this immense weight on the team that has to chase. Right away, England's bowlers were making that new ball move just enough to be really dangerous. But New Zealand's Henry Nicholls and their captain, Kane Williamson, they just refused to panic. They soaked up all that pressure, they blunted the attack, and they built this really stable foundation. Honestly, without that patient foundation, this final could have been over before it even really got started. Just when it looked like New Zealand was about to hit the accelerator, England's Liam Plunkett completely changed the game. He used his height, these clever changes in pace, and he just attacked the middle of the pitch and got rid of both of the set batsmen. It was just a perfect example of how one tactical switch can totally freeze a team's momentum. So, New Zealand finishes their 50 overs with 241 on the board. Now, in modern cricket, you look at that number and think, pretty modest. But on this difficult surface, it was a seriously competitive total. The key thing here is this wasn't a target you could just smash your way to. It demanded England completely rethink their aggressive style. It was all about patience over fireworks. All right, now it's England's turn to chase. And New Zealand's bowlers, they came out with the perfect plan. See, they knew England's entire identity in white ball cricket was built on these aggressive, super fast starts. Trent Boult and Matt Henry were just magnificent. They bowled these classical, disciplined, test match style lengths, finding just enough movement to completely dismantle England's dangerous top order. Roy, Root, Bairstow, all gone. The pressure was just immense. So at 86 for 4, England were absolutely on the brink. But then Ben Stokes and Jos Buttler got together, and they put on what has to be the most important partnership of the entire tournament. They managed the risk, they ran hard between the wickets, and slowly but surely they added 110 runs, dragging England right back into the game. Everything was balanced on a knife's edge again. Just when it seemed like England had finally wrestled back control, the match twisted again. That crucial partnership was broken when Jos Buttler got out. The second Buttler fell, the whole chase just blasted structure. Wickets started to fall around Ben Stokes, the fielders started closing in, and that required run rate just started to climb and climb and climb. Suddenly, it felt like all roads to victory were leading back to New Zealand. And then came one of the most bizarre, controversial, just unbelievable moments in the history of cricket. England needs 9 runs from 3 balls. Ben Stokes dives to make his ground for a second run. A fielder's throw comes in from the deep, and by pure, random chance, it hits his outstretched bat and deflects away to the boundary. The umpires awarded 6 runs to England. You get 2 for the runs they actually took, and 4 for the overthrow. It was a moment of just incredible, unbelievable luck that instantly changed the entire equation and really the destiny of the World Cup. And this is where all the controversy really kicks in. The actual laws of cricket suggested that because the batsman hadn't crossed for that second run when the fielder threw the ball, only 5 runs should have been awarded. It was a single, pivotal run that would end up changing literally everything. So it all came down to the very last ball. England needed 2 runs to win. They scrambled for 1, but Mark Wood was run out trying to come back for the winning second. And just like that, the scores were level. The match was a tie. For the first time in history, a World Cup final was going to be decided by a super over. Okay, so in the super over, England scored 15 runs. New Zealand came into bat and they scored 15 runs. It was a tie. Again. So the match was then decided by the now infamous boundary countback rule. The rule's simple. If the super over is tied, the team that hit more boundaries, so 4s and 6s, in the entire match is the winner. Well, England had hit 26 boundaries. New Zealand had hit 17. And on that simple, brutal technicality, England were crowned world champions. You can just imagine the scenes. Absolute jubilation for England and just utter, complete heartbreak for New Zealand. It created this complicated and unforgettable legacy and sparked a fierce debate that actually changed the sport. So, what's the legacy of this incredible final? Well, for England, it was a historic first-ever Men's World Cup trophy. For New Zealand, it was a showcase of tactical genius and pure class that earned them praise from all over the world. And for the sport itself, it forced a serious reckoning. That boundary rule was scrapped, and it started a much deeper conversation about what a fair result really even looks like. In the end, this final reminded the entire sporting world of a fundamental truth, that in those huge make-or-break moments, pressure isn't just some feeling in your head. It's a tangible force, as real and as influential as any technical skill. It's a force that can create legends and decide the fate of a World Cup on the absolute smallest of margins.